Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, we're going to react to when the killer is the first to arrive at a murder scene. Now, why? I'm trying to think of why you would do that. Like, obviously, I'm not a murderer. I assume any of you guys watching this, none of us are murderers. But like, if you were, why would you, like, assuming you knew the police were on their way, like, the news has broken out that someone has been killed. Why would you, the person who is responsible for this crime, be the first to arrive at the scene? Unless you were potentially like working for law enforcement, like if you were an officer or a detective. So if you didn't show up at the scene, it would kind of look really suspicious for you. That's the only real exception I can think of as to why you would be there, as opposed to, like, you know, halfway across the country by now. See, I'm quite eager to see, like, what brought the killer back to the scene here.
What's wrong? 911, where's your emergency?
Hi, let's stay there.
Where are you at?
Wagner?
Okay, what's going on?
I don't even know.
You don't know what's going on?
Is he breathing? Oh my God. My husband's dead.
Okay, is that your husband?
My husband's freaking out, yes. His best friend. My daughter. Elizabeth, get outside.
Ma'am.
She's on the floor. There's blood everywhere. Oh my God, he has a gunshot wound in the back of his head. He's in the throat.
What is your name?
My name is Sherry Kenny.
Sherry. You don't see a gun?
No, I don't see a gun.
Okay. Listen, I need you and your husband to back out of the residence and wait outside for the officers. Do you hear me?
All right.
In May 2017, police in the small, quiet town of Bel Air, Ohio, find a man dead in his basement. A gunshot wound to the head. When police arrive on the scene, they meet with the husband and wife that had found the deceased man. David Kinney and his wife Cherry are longtime friends of the victim, 43-year-old Brad McGarry.
I can't look.
So I'm guessing it's one of these two. It's one of the husband or the wife, right? Because the video is called When the Killer's the First to Arrive.
Believe that. How long you guys been together? 8-9 years.
Oh, yeah.
My kids call him Uncle. He's supposed to go to the Bahamas with us in August.
Best buds,
Yeah, he's one of my best friends.
He met him at coal mining classes years ago, and we just took him in his family.
I'm trying not to freak out. I'm sorry. I can't not see that. I'm not supposed to see that, man.
Maybe it wasn't them. It seems genuine.
That right there is a weed eater. Is the whole plant.
Okay. The weed eater?
Yes, sir. We come to the basement door and knocked. Because my daughter knocked on the front door. I told her, I said, Sis, go knock on the back door. She went up and knocked on the back door. Door was open. I went up right behind her. I noticed that the kitchen was scattered. There was stuff all over there. I told my wife, I said, Sherry, something's wrong.
When the police look in the basement, they find the body of Brad McGarry lying face down on the floor with a pool of blood around his head.
Horrific.
Brad McGarry was an openly gay man in a small conservative neighborhood. His friends state that he had just ended a relationship.
So it could have been a hate crime, potentially.
With a man named Scotty, but they didn't know his last name.
They stayed with him, like an issue with him.
He's the last relationship he was in. It was pulled off, and he hasn't been with anybody ever since.
Who was the girl?
No,
It was the guy.
He,
He was in with the guy?
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Okay, who was the guy?
He,
Scott something.
oh man.
Bad blood.
Oh, is one of the officers called Scott? Is one of the officers called Scott?
I think just the regular relationship, Ricker and Hornchurch.
While looking around the house, police noticed that it appears to have been ransacked. Oddly enough, they noticed that nothing has actually been taken. There were multiple newer phones lying around, a large TV, and even money on the floor. Police are convinced that the robbery was staged. The next thought is that it was suicide. When the coroner arrives, he starts taking a look at Brad's body. It is apparent that there is a gunshot wound to the head, so he asks if there was a gun found anywhere, but no gun was found. Since oftentimes suicide victims fall on top of the gun after committing the act, police roll the body over, but they still do not find a gun.
I don't see a firearm. No, I didn't. They flipped him over, they didn't see a gun. And that's the case. It wasn't no suicide. He's a rigger.
But isn't it possible that maybe he fell backwards? Or like...
People outside.
David Kenny.
Detectives begin interviewing friends and family of Brad right away, trying to form a timeline and gain as much information as possible as to who may have done this. After getting the full name of Scotty Butler, Brad's recently ex-boyfriend, they head to his house right away to interrogate him. When detectives arrive at the house, his mother answers the door and states that Scotty has been in jail for the past 3 months for violating his probation.
So it can't have been Scott then, can it? It can't have been.
Scotty Butler is no longer a suspect, as he had a solid alibi. Detectives decide to take a look around the neighbourhood to see if there are any cameras filming towards Brad's house. Thankfully, one neighbour had a camera that faced towards the street near Brad's house. They would be able to see who came and went from the house. While reviewing the camera footage, they continue to interview friends and family. David had taken some pictures and screenshots that could help detectives in the investigation, so they took his phone to copy the information. The issue the detective is having at this moment is that just the night before, Brad's cousin said something that completely changed the direction of the investigation.
Sunday, we went to Grammy's. We were sitting around the table. It was just me and Brad and Heather, which is another cousin of mine. And he made a comment how this DJ guy, he was coming over. Brad's intent was it was romantic. He made a joke about taking a nap. And it wasn't taking a nap. He was insinuating that they were having sex. It was like quotation marks. This was Sunday.
He was killed.
Yes.
What time do you...
Who?
Between 1:30 and 2.
Really?
Yes, he was supposed to. He was dropping all the tuxes off. I also know that he was married. They've been married.
Who told you that?
Brad did.
Brad told you?
Yeah. She, being the wife, didn't know all this time. They've been doing this for years. From what I understand, the two of them, Brad and DJ, kind of, I don't know if they laid low or they completely broke up. I guess they call him DJ or David Kenny.
Really?
Yes. It's the only guy.
I knew that.
Because it's the only guy he's ever told me about. It's just, it's the guy. That's him. That's him.
Oh, it's the husband.
The detectives made David believe they took his phone for the pictures he had, but the truth was they were tracking where his phone was when Brad was murdered, as well as finding proof that him and Brad had a relationship beyond friends.
Wow.
When they took a look at his phone...
Is it, I'm guessing maybe he didn't want his wife to know? Like, is that why he did it? He didn't want the secret to come out?
Even though he has deleted everything, they are able to see the text messages between David and Brad. Evidence shows that they were in fact in a sexual relationship.
Wow.
They review the phone history and find that David's phone was directly at Brad's house at the time of the murder. They also discover, while reviewing the neighbour's CCTV footage, that David had driven to Brad's right before the murder in his wife's car, then left 40 minutes later.
David, man.
David would then appear again hours later in his truck with his family, delivering the weed eater Brad supposedly wanted to borrow.
Busted.
Police know that David was there when Brad was killed. Now they need to work to get the truth out of David.
Where's your phone pointing you at Brad's house?
I wonder how long it took them to piece this together. Like, are we talking days, weeks, months?
That's the time to get killed. It's past 3.
I was not there when Brad was killed.
You were at his house.
Yes, sir.
I'm the murderer. You were
Oh,
there.
God.
You know exactly when he was killed.
They've got him, man. They have got him.
You were there when he was killed.
No, sir, I was not at his house when that man was murdered. Sir, I can't.
This is the kind of shit that gets people in trouble.
Oh, my God, I know.
We're gonna lose everything. Lose your wife, lose your kids. Look at me. This don't have to be the end of your life. Got a chance to come clean. Tell me you really have shit. Look at me. Look at me. We're past it. It's okay. We'll do this together. Tell me what happened.
He sure will. He had another guy with him.
Cheating.
I don't know who he was. I don't know his name.
I swear on everything.
Holy God.
What happened next?
He went in the garage.
It's okay. David. Look at me in the eye, bud. Tell me. What happened next?
He was so scared. You heard a guy came running out of the garage. He got to Brad's BMW.
Lies. He's still lying, isn't he? He's still lying. Mate. No, come on.
And then I left.
There's a couple things you need to know. Brad's front seat in the Beamer was full of stuff that he brought from the wedding.
Yes, sir.
He didn't have a passenger.
Sir, that guy went back into the BMW.
Doing this job for many years, the detective knows that people subconsciously hide their face when lying, especially from police.
Really?
The police also know that Brad's SUV was still at the house and had not left since Brad was killed. So this version of David's story is a lie.
I didn't know that. So people subconsciously hide their face when they're lying. Okay. So now whenever I tell a lie, I'm just going to be like...
Got to the house. I'm telling you the God honest truth of life. There was another man there. I swear to you, God, I do not know his name. I do not know his name. We did kind of have a little bit of an argument with me being there. He shot Brad. From you? Yes, sir.
Tell us the truth.
And he was going to shoot me.
Yeah, right. So you were just a victim in all this. Get out of here.
But I got scared. I didn't know what to do. And then I left. Oh.
Okay.
It's okay. He knew what I looked like. My vehicle was there. I did not know what to do.
What kind of gun was it?
I have no clue.
Why did you call the cops? Why did you do this elaborate story? Why did you put your own daughter in that basement with that body? You did that.
Turning up the heat.
And you knew he was down there. So damn it, quit screwing your family.
Sir,
Tell me what happened.
I did not kill him.
You knew Brad was dead, and you brought your
I
daughter.
did not know he was dead.
The detective now creates a false story to help David become more comfortable with opening up about what happened. Even though the detective knows David will lie again, he also knows that the truth is getting closer.
I'll tell you something. Sometimes when bad shit happens, people panic. Okay? I got a theory. I think it might have been an accident.
Wow. This guy's
I
good.
think that maybe somebody was around and accidentally shot him. I panicked. Didn't think anybody believed him. Was it an accident? Am I right? Drop all this shit and just let it out. Brad deserves it. Brad's family deserves it.
This guy's
Wife deserves it. Your kids deserve it.
Brad didn't want me to leave my wife for a while. I love my wife and kids to death.
You love Brad too.
I did.
And sometimes you think about leaving your wife for him. Okay.
I told him numerous times, man, I'm not gonna leave my wife. He hit me and smacked me around a couple times. He said, if you end all of this now, then I'm done with you forever. He got real loud with me. You know, kind of like up in my face. He had those little derringers.
Cross the line, man. Stop. Look at me. Let it go. Tell me what happened next.
He had it in his hand. Just kind of like waving it at me, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Telling me, you know, you're up, I'm tired of you, I can't believe you with my emotions this long and just to call it quits. He kept waving it at me, so I grabbed it.
Okay. What happened after you grabbed it?
I pushed him.
Okay. And what happened?
I saw it.
After this statement, David stops talking and asks for a lawyer. And even though he says he shot Brad, he will go to court pleading not guilty.
Wow. You've just given the confession. Why would you...
In February 2018, David was convicted of aggravated murder with a gun specification.
How long
This
did they
man
give?
was able to do a assassin's job to someone he loved and his best friend. What could he do to his enemy or someone who opposed him?
Kinney, for his part, did offer a brief apology in court, although he made neither an admission nor did he offer an explanation.
I would like to apologize to my Gary family for all the hurt and pain that I put you through, and I meant for any of this to happen, and I wish you could all...
Wow. In big capitals, pathetic.
If I could take it all back. I know all the apologies in the world will never bring him back, but I want you to know I truly am sorry for it.
What's the sentence?
The defendant shall serve life in prison.
Life.
Without the possibility of parole.
Wow.
Plus 3 years beyond life in prison.
Prison records indicate that David remains incarcerated at the Belmont Correctional Institution in St. Clairsville, Ohio.
Wow, life, no parole. That was intense. I don't know why I didn't think it was possibly one of the couple when the video first started. I assumed it would be one of the cops, maybe a passerby was coming to give information about stuff that they saw. I did not think it would be the guy in the couple. I just didn't see it. And that, the sentence, I wasn't expecting life. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's probably what, 1st degree murder? So yeah, life, no parole. I mean, could he possibly appeal that decision? I'm guessing he can. But yeah, wow, such a sad story, honestly. Like, it really, really did not have to go down that way. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.